Imagine going to the world's biggest library. You walk right up to the front desk and you ask a question.
Right.
And the librarian just gives you this perfectly concise answer and then immediately burns the source book right in front of you.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's a vivid image.
Right, and they just tell you to go home? Like, you don't get to browse the aisles, you don't get to look at the original material.
Yeah, just get the answer.
You just get the answer, and your journey ends right there at the desk. And the wild part is, that is exactly what happened to 93% of internet traffic as of July 13th, 2026.
It really is staggering when you put it like that.
It's insane. So, welcome to another deep dive. If you're joining us, you know we love dissecting the hidden systems that run our world.
Absolutely.
And our mission here is to really unpack the ultimate shortcut to understanding how information discovery has just fundamentally mutated.
Mutated is, well, it's the perfect way to describe it, honestly.
Yeah.
Because for decades, the entire digital economy relied on a very specific, commute.
A commute, right?
Yeah, like you create content, a search engine provides the map, and the user physically drives themselves to your website. But we're looking at a landscape where that commute has just been completely demolished.
Totally gone.
Totally. The web has shifted from a place where we hunt for links to a place where AI curates, synthesizes, and conversationalizes our answers.
And to be crystal clear right up front, we are anchoring this entire conversation in the documented reality of exactly July 13th, 2026.
Yes, very important context.
Every single piece of data, every structural shift, every bizarre new tech standard we are going to discuss reflects the state of the web on that specific date. We are analyzing the massive SEO Daily Technology Report from July 13, 2026.
Which is just a massive document.
Huge. So before we can even talk about how you, or really anyone running a business, can survive on this new internet, we have to look at what actually happened to the biggest front door in the world, which is Google.
Right, because it was a fundamental architectural collapse of the old model.
Oh, completely.
Back on May 19th, 2026, Google made this massive move. They made AI mode the default search experience worldwide.
And that was running on the Gemini 3.5 Flash model, right?
Exactly. Gemini 3.5 Flash. And the thing is, this wasn't just them, bolting a chatbot onto the side of the page like a gimmick.
No, they rebuilt the search box itself for the first time in over a quarter of a century, which is just wild to look at the breakdown of how it works in the report.
That's completely different.
Like, the box actually expands as you type. You aren't just typing keywords anymore. You're dropping in images, video files, PDFs.
Yeah, the multimodal input.
Right. You can even use an open Chrome tab as your search input. The classic autocomplete, where it tries to guess your sentence, is basically gone.
Which is crazy because we relied on that for so long.
Totally. Now it's replaced entirely by AI-powered conversational suggestions.
What's fascinating here is the adoption rate. It's just staggering. The data from July 13th, 2026 shows that AI mode queries have more than doubled every single quarter since that launch.
Doubled every quarter.
Every quarter. They easily surpassed 1 billion monthly users. The default path now pulls users into an AI conversation from their very first keystroke.
Wow.
So the traditional 10 blue links aren't entirely dead, but they've been pushed so far down the page they might as well be.
Right, like page 2 of the old Google, a ghost town.
Exactly. Ranking number 1 on a traditional search page no longer guarantees anyone will see your site. You have to be cited inside the AI's synthesized response itself.
Which brings up a massive, glaring problem. I mean, if I'm running a website, this sounds like a total nightmare.
It definitely is for a lot of people.
Because you mentioned the data shows search volume is actually at an all-time high. Like, people are asking more questions than ever before.
Yes, search volume is up.
But if nobody is actually clicking through to the websites because the AI is just handing them the answer at the front desk, how do these websites survive? What happens to the traffic?
Well, to put it bluntly, the traffic drops off a cliff.
Just plummets.
Yeah. This is what the industry is calling the zero-click shift. Analysts estimate that the zero-click rate for these AI mode queries is sitting at 93%.
Yay, 93%. 93% of searches result in nobody visiting a website.
92%.
That is apocalyptic for digital media.
It is, and there's this fascinating Pew Research study from this period that really solidifies how human behavior changed.
What did they find?
Well, they tracked nearly 69,000 real-world searches. And they found that when an AI summary appears at the top of the page, users click a traditional link only 8% of the time.
Only 8%? Wow.
Right, but when there is no AI summary, they click 15% of the time.
Okay, so wait, let me do the math. That is that's a 47% relative drop in traffic the second an AI enters the check.
Exactly, a 47% drop. So to answer your question about how websites survive, I mean, the reality is many won't
It's brutal.
unless they completely fracture their strategy. Traditional organic reach is approaching absolute zero for these AI-triggered queries.
Okay, so if I'm a digital marketer or a business owner and I'm staring down this data from July 2026, what is the survival mechanism? How do you fracture a strategy to deal with an AI that just flat out refuses to share traffic?
You really have to split your target queries into two distinct buckets.
Okay.
First, you have citation-first queries. These are informational searches where you just know the AI is going to answer the user directly.
Like asking for the capital of France or something.
Exactly. Your only goal here is to be the brand the AI mentions in its summary. You aren't trying to get clicks at all.
You're just trying to get credit.
Right, you're trying to get brand awareness and authority.
Mm.
Then you have your second bucket, which is click recoverable queries.
Let me guess. Those are the scraps the AI hasn't figured out how to synthesize yet.
That's exactly what they are. Click recoverable queries rely on features that an AI just can't easily replace with a paragraph of text.
Like what kind of features?
Things like deep video results, complex image packs, and dynamic people.
Also ask sections.
Oh, I see. Yeah, if you want actual human eyeballs on your website, you have to target specific types of media and highly subjective questions that force the AI to essentially give up and offer a traditional link.
Because it can't just write a summary of a video easily without you wanting to see the video.
Exactly.
But if Google's front door is effectively shut to traffic 93% of the time, websites must be panicking. They must be looking for side doors. Do those side doors even exist anymore in this landscape?
They do, but they look entirely different than what we're used to. We are looking at a highly fractured, multi-engine AI ecosystem.
Multi-engine. So it's not just a Google monopoly anymore.
Far from it. If you only optimize your content for Google as of July 13, 2026, you're missing roughly half of the entire discovery ecosystem.
Half. That's a massive blind spot.
Huge. Platforms like ChatGPT, Perplexity, and Claude are now sending real, measurable referral traffic.
And what blows my mind is that you can't just apply one trick to all of them. The report highlights that each of these platforms has a completely distinct algorithm for what they decide to cite.
Right, they all have different tastes, essentially.
I want to slow down and contrast these because understanding the difference feels super crucial. Perplexity, for instance, it operates almost like a strict academic researcher.
Yes, very strict.
It prioritizes highly authoritative, recent sources, and it wants to show its work with clear footnotes.
Right. If you are searching for a recent medical study or a breaking news event, Perplexity wants hard citations.
But ChatGPT operates differently.
Very differently. It favors conversational consensus and depth. It wants to synthesize a broader understanding of a topic.
Okay.
And then you have Claude, which emphasizes highly nuanced, well-reasoned, long-form content. An AI engine's underlying personality really determines what kind of web pages it likes to read.
And it's not just about what they want to read. It's about where the user is asking the question.
Yes, the context is everything.
The numbers in the report on workplace integration are just insane. Copilot is showing 25.2x growth.
25.2x.
And Claude is seeing 12.8x growth. That means people aren't even opening a web browser to search anymore.
No, not at all.
Discovery is happening inside embedded workplace tools. Like somebody is searching for a software vendor directly inside an Excel spreadsheet or an internal company dashboard.
Which means the tools we use to track success have had to evolve completely. You can't just look at Google Analytics anymore.
Right, because the clicks aren't happening on a website.
Exactly. A whole new field called Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO, is now mandatory.
GEO.
Yeah. Platforms like Trackings.ai and Athena HQ have emerged specifically to monitor brand visibility across this totally fractured landscape.
So these are the new SEO tools.
Pretty much. And to actually communicate with these different AI crawlers, the web has adopted a completely new technical standard called the llms.txt file.
Okay, stop right there. I need you to explain this to me because it sounds like we are just inventing new rules for the sake of it.
It does sound like alphabet soup, I know.
Right, because we've had robots.txt since basically the dawn of the web.
Right.
It tells crawlers what they can and can't look at. So how is llms.txt different?
It's a completely different philosophy.
Is robots.txt essentially the keep out sign on your fence? And llms.txt is like, I don't know, a VIP menu specifically handed to an AI bouncer.
That VIP menu analogy is spot on. I love that. Think about how a machine reads a website versus how a human reads it.
Humans like pretty things.
Right. A human likes design, fancy navigation bars, nice images, and AI hates all of that. It just wants the raw data.
Just give me the text.
Exactly. So robots.txt is purely administrative. It tells a crawler, don't index my employee login page.
Okay, that makes sense.
But llms.txt is prescriptive. It actively influences the AI's understanding of your site.
How so?
It says to the AI, hey, if you want to know my company's official stance on climate change or our exact product specs, ignore the marketing fluff on the homepage and read this specific text-only file.
Oh, wow. So you're literally serving them a pre-digested version of your site.
Precisely. And the data shows this isn't some fringe idea anymore. Between 5 and 15% of major websites have already adopted the llms.txt standard as of July 2026 to guide these crawlers.
5 to 15% of the major web? That's huge adoption for a new standard.
It's massive. If you don't have this VIP menu, you risk being ignored entirely by the AI assistants.
But here's where I get a little skeptical. You can't just hand the AI a menu of your old, badly written, keyword-stuffed blog posts, right? The actual way we write the content has to change.
Drastically. It's called answer-first writing.
Answer-first writing.
Yeah, think about how most recipes on the internet used to work.
Oh my gosh, the worst. You had to scroll through a 5-paragraph emotional story about someone's grandmother before you finally got to the ingredients.
Exactly. AI crawlers will immediately bounce from that.
Really? They won't read it?
No, they don't have the patience, or rather the compute time for it. They need clear, direct, definitive responses right at the opening of the paragraph. You have to ensure the content is easily extractable.
So wait, isn't that just ruining the internet for humans? If I have to write strictly for a robot, my articles are going to read like stereo instructions.
It is a profound tension, absolutely. It's a real debate.
Yeah.
But remember, the human isn't visiting your site 93% of the time anyway.
Oh, right, because of the zero-click shift.
Right. You are building content strictly as machine-readable training data. The discipline of SEO in July 2026 has been entirely rebranded as relevance engineering.
Relevance engineering. I mean, that sounds intensely clinical.
But it has to be clinical because traditional rank tracking is mathematically dead.
Dead.
Completely dead. You can't say, I ranked #1 for running shoes anymore.
Why not?
Because my AI search for best running shoes is going to generate a completely different conversation than your search.
Oh, because it knows us.
Right? It's based on my past purchases, my location, and my specific intent.
Yeah.
You cannot track a static rank on a dynamically generated conversation.
That makes total sense. So how do you engineer relevance if you can't track a single keyword? The report talks a lot about mapping query fanouts. What does that actually mean?
A query fanout is essentially anticipating the entire conversational tree.
Like a flowchart.
Exactly. Instead of optimizing a single page for the phrase best running shoes, you create a web of content that answers the initial question, plus the inevitable follow-up questions.
Like, are they good for flat feet? Or how long do they last?
Exactly. Or what is the return policy? You are feeding the AI an entire semantic network of information, so it never has to leave your ecosystem to find an answer.
Okay, and to make sure the AI actually understands that network, the underlying code of the website has become incredibly important, right? The report mentions things like schema markup and JSON LD.
Yes, vital stuff.
I want to demystify this for a second for the listener because it sounds like heavy developer jargon. But basically, JSON LD acts like a hidden spreadsheet embedded in your website's code.
That's a great way to picture it.
Because an AI doesn't have eyes, it doesn't look at your beautifully formatted FAQ page with the drop-down menus.
No, it ignores the visuals.
It just reads the hidden spreadsheet because it's perfectly organized data.
Precisely. FAQ schema, how-to schema, product schema. These are booming right now precisely because they are perfectly extractable.
Right.
And this ties directly into what we call entity SEO.
Explain entity SEO, because we used to just talk about keywords. How is an entity different from a keyword?
Well, a keyword is just a string of letters. An AI doesn't inherently know what the word Apple means. It could be a food or a massive tech company.
Look, it's just text.
But an entity is a well-defined concept with real-world relationships. Entity SEO is about structuring your content around specific people, places, organizations, and concepts so the AI mathematically understands what you are actually talking about.
Which is critical, right? Because these AI models are fundamentally terrified of hallucinating.
Yes, they are heavily penalized for hallucinating.
They do not want to give the user a fake answer. Which brings us to the whole concept of EET, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
EET, yes.
We used to think of these as just vague guidelines from Google, like a nice to have. But now, in July 2026, they are hard technical ranking factors, especially for what they call YMYL topics.
Your money or your life topics?
Exactly. Things like medical advice or financial planning, you can't just fake that anymore.
No. AI overviews aggressively reward EAT signals. And what's fascinating here is the mechanism of how an AI actually measures trust.
How does a machine measure trust?
Well, a machine language model doesn't understand truth. It doesn't have a moral compass.
Right.
What it understands is statistical proximity and vector mapping.
Okay, unpack that. How does statistical proximity equal trust?
Let's say you run a cybersecurity firm. An AI reads your website and you claim you are the absolute best in the business.
Of course I do.
Right. But the AI doesn't just believe you. However, if the AI reads the Wall Street Journal, the MIT Technology Review, and major industry conferences, and it mathematically notices that the name of your firm frequently appears within close proximity to phrases like industry standard or breakthrough encryption, it maps those entities together.
Oh, wow.
It statistically verifies your authority across the broader web.
This is a huge realization. Are you saying that old school geeky keyword hacks like putting a word in bold 10 times on a page are completely useless now?
Completely useless.
And being genuinely popular in the real world is now a technical requirement.
Yes. The report is incredibly clear on this. SEO and public relations are now completely inseparable disciplines. Tools like ET-Clean are specifically designed for this now.
Wait, so if major trusted news outlets aren't talking about you, the AI has no mathematical reason to trust you?
None. Brand authority is the ultimate anti-hallucination safeguard for an AI.
That makes total sense when you put it like that.
You aren't just optimizing a web page anymore. You're engineering trust across the entire internet so the machine feels safe citing you.
That is a staggering paradigm shift, just mind-blowing. But as wild as it is to realize, we are just writing content to train an AI so it won't hallucinate.
Yeah.
Up until now, we've only been talking about how AI reads the web to answer questions.
Right, the informational side.
Yeah. But the absolute cutting edge in this July 2026 data is how AI is starting to act on the web. We are moving into the era of the agentic web.
This is where the functionality of the internet fundamentally transforms.
It gets crazy here.
It really does. We are moving from AI as an answering machine to AI as an autonomous agent.
So it's doing things for you.
Exactly. We aren't just asking it for recipes anymore. These agents are actively booking calendar appointments, making complex purchases, and controlling systems on behalf of the user.
And the major software tools are fully leaning into this. I mean, look at the data for the big SEO platforms in the report. SEMrush, which is sitting as the dominant all-in-one tool at $119.95 a month.
Right.
And Ahrefs, which is the backlink king at $99 a month, with this insane 15 to 30-minute database refresh rate.
So
They haven't just added chatbots to their dashboards, they have both launched MCP servers.
yes, MCP servers. This is huge.
Explain MCP, because this feels like the next big leap.
MCP stands for Model Context Protocol. This is arguably the biggest leap in automation since the invention of the API.
Really? That big?
Easily. To put it simply, it allows an AI agent to query massive, complex databases using natural human language.
So instead of a human analyst logging into Ahrefs, clicking through 5 different menus to find competitor link velocity,
Right, which takes time.
an AI agent just plugs directly into the Ahrefs MCP server, asks a question in plain English, and instantly pulls the raw data to generate a strategy.
Exactly. It completely bypasses the user interface.
But it goes way beyond just marketing tools talking to each
Right.
other, right? The real revolution is websites exposing their actual backends to AI. The report calls it backend SEO for agentic AI.
Yeah, think about how frustrating it is for a machine to navigate a human website.
Oh, I'm sure it hates our pop-ups.
It does. The AI has to load the page, interpret the visual CSS design, figure out where the Buy Now button is physically located on the screen, and simulate a physical mouse click.
which is so prone to breaking.
It's incredibly inefficient.
Hmm.
So Google and Microsoft co-developed a browser-level standard called WebMCP.
How does WebMCP fix that clunkiness?
It allows a website to expose its key actions, like booking a slot or checking out a shopping cart, as structured, direct tools.
So it's like a direct wire.
Think of it exactly like an API. It's essentially a direct wire connecting the AI's brain straight to the website's central server. The AI bypasses the visual website entirely and just pings the server to take the action.
Okay, so what does this actually mean for shopping? Because the report heavily features ACP, the Agentic Commerce Protocol.
Yes, ACP is revolutionary for e-commerce.
So if I want a new pair of running shoes, I don't go to a shoe store's website anymore. I don't click through the catalog, pick my size 10, and type in my credit card.
No, you don't do any of that.
What do I do?
You tell your personal AI agent, find me those specific running shoes in a size 10 for under $100.
And that's it.
That's it. Your agent instantly scans the web, finds a retailer with an ACP feed, and its software talks directly to the store's software.
Whoa.
The AI agent negotiates the purchase, applies your payment info, and completes the transaction in milliseconds. The entire purchase happens machine to machine.
We are literally optimizing e-commerce stores for robot shoppers.
We absolutely are.
That is equal parts amazing and terrifying, to be honest.
It's a lot to process.
But it makes perfect sense. Why would an AI struggle to visually navigate a poorly designed, clunky human interface if a competitor site offers a clean, direct API feed where it can instantly transact?
It simply wouldn't. And that is the massive warning for brands in this report. If you fail to expose your inventory and your back-end APIs to protocols like WebMCP and ACP,
You're just gone.
you will be totally invisible in this next phase of the web. The AI will simply take the path of least resistance and buy from your competitor.
Incredible. The digital infrastructure we are building is actively cutting human interfaces entirely out of the loop.
It really is.
All right, let's synthesize this massive journey we just took, because the reality of this July 13th, 2026 landscape is brutal, but it's very clear.
Very clear.
Google's Gemini 3.5 Flash rebuilt the front door, resulting in a staggering 93% zero-click reality where the AI hands out the answers and burns the source material.
Yes. And to survive the multi-engine world where Perplexity, ChatGPT, and Claude dominate, you have to hand out VIP menus using the llms.txt standard.
Right.
You have to embrace relevance engineering. You can't just hack keywords anymore. You must merge PR and SEO to build mathematical trust, those undeniable EET signals, so the machine feels safe citing you.
And finally, we are stepping onto the wild new frontier of the agentic web. You aren't just trying to get an AI to read your blog post. You are structuring your back-end servers with WebMCP and ACP so autonomous robot assistants can bypass your website entirely and just do the shopping for us.
Exactly.
It is a completely mutated, unrecognizable internet. And again, just to ground this for you listening, everything we discussed is the documented reality of our deep dive precisely as of July 13th, 2026.
Which leaves us with a lingering, somewhat unsettling question, honestly.
What's that?
Well, if we are actively restructuring all our websites to be nothing more than perfectly formatted JSON LDs spreadsheets,
Right.
if we are writing our content strictly as training data for machines and reconfiguring our stores so AI agents can bypass the visual design and just haggle with our APIs,
Yeah.
how long until the human internet, the one with readable articles, pretty designs, and clickable buttons, is just a tiny, quiet suburb attached to a massive, bustling, invisible metropolis built entirely for machine-to-machine communication?
Wow. If you run a business, that is exactly what you should be asking yourself. Something to really chew on the next time you ask an AI for a quick summary. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, and keep exploring.